Nikolasz Lukacs always willing to step in and make a really strong show of it all. And he'll have his hands full with Antonio Louca. This will be one of those fights for the ages, folks. The vacant European title is on the line. The strap everybody's wanted for years. These boys have been pounding their way through the ranks. Wins here, there, and everywhere. Nikolasz Lukacs making his way in, getting his final instructions. He's a proud Hungarian, this gentleman. Always finding ways to win. But standing across from him, will be strong guard work usually we're seeing from Louca. He likes to keep it standing. George Vucenic in his corner as well. There we go, he's in the cage with gold shorts on. Looking like a gladiator is Antonio Louca. And on the other side, Nikolasz Lukacs. Looking very calm and ready. I'm ready for fireworks, folks.
This is Battle Arena. This fight is for the vacant 61-kilogram Battle Arena European title. Introducing first your fighter in the red corner, representing Team Sarkozy, Nikolasz Lukacs! And his opponent in the blue corner, representing EWFMMA, it's
Antonio Louca getting a thunderous applause here. And here we are, the feeling out process. Long body Louca, Nikolasz Lukacs. Some very strong records from both young men.
I've got some secret information on long body. He's actually been training at BST, mixing up his training from his home of EWF.
Well, Nikolasz Lukacs is undefeated at the moment, 3-0. Long body Lukacs 5-3. He's had that experience. He knows the agony of defeat and the thrill of victory.
And Antonio Louca is coming off that big win over Josh Abreu, where he's probably a heavy underdog, but pulled out the victory, and it's got to give him confidence.
Definitely, and obviously training
but a big jab from Nikolasz Lukacs.
It's always interesting to see how Lukacs is so calm, so controlled.
He uses oh, how did he finish on top? And bounce out of it. Louca.
This is where the real action is here, folks. He connects his hands and he takes him down to Louca. And now Nikolasz Lukacs has lots to work for. Got that butterfly hook, he's looking to turn him or elevate him.
He's back to close guard. This is improvement we're seeing from Antonio Louca already. He didn't used to fight this way with his head position, and I mean, of all the fighters we've had on Battle Arena over the years, Steve, I think Antonio Louca is the most improved from his debut, where he still looked good.
Yeah, Yeah, we've been watching him develop for so long. He's getting better and better all the time. And right now he's on top and he's working. And he's giving Nikolasz Louca everything to work for.
It's a bit of a stalemate here. Nikolasz Louca has got those overwraps. Antonio Luca's doing a good job of head position, but he doesn't want to posture up too much, because then he can get kicked away and lose the spot.
Yeah, all of these matchups in the main card are going to be so closely contested. Nobody wants to give it up, especially when you have a chance for a European title.
No, and that stands for a lot now. Battle Arena has really established itself as such a big organisation. Nikolasz Louca's looking for an armbar from the bottom.
Just without the arm there.
It's going to be very hard to, it's kind of really difficult to get a submission if you're in the other guy's corner, which is the problem for Nikolasz Louca here. Because they're going to, got high level coaches and they're going to be spotting anything that gets thrown up straight away. Antonio Luca's doing a good job of landing some shots, controlling the position, but he's not really looking to pass or be too dominant from here. He's happy winning the round, but he could be getting into a triangle. He's got to be careful. Hand position.
He fights to get his arms back in.
Yep.
Very good. He recognized it really well. He's bought a lot of fans, says Antonio Louca, so he's not wanting to give it up right yet. Nikolasz Louca still trying to rotate for that armbar. There we go, the end of the first round. Good control from Antonio Louca, and probably a lot to think of from Nikolasz Louca's corner. Team Sarkozy. So, I wonder if the O's got to go tonight.
I mean, he probably came off worse in that round. That's probably a round to Antonio Louca, but he didn't take a particularly large amount of damage. He didn't overexert himself trying to work any of these escapes. And like you said before, Steve, he's such a composed young man. He's almost stoic.
Very composed. Always ready to make adjustments, and he's going to have to in this second round, because obvious that Luca's been training very hard. Jordan seeking out those.
Jordan Vucenic in the corner of Antonio Louca giving some great advice. And it was that's a new member of his team since mixing up his training and getting in extra rounds and extra training over at Blood, Sweat and Tears in Northampton. You know, of all the gyms in the country, it's probably the best one to go to. And sometimes these smaller, EWF is a fantastic MMA gym, but sometimes you're at these smaller gyms, you end up being a big fish in a small pond. And going to these bigger spots, like we were talking about earlier, Steve, sometimes you have to lose. You have to find people that are better than you to get pushed, to improve.
And losing in training is much better than losing in competition. Much better indeed.
Oh,
but here we go. He's steaming forward as Louca. He looks to go back onto the legs. Nikolasz Louca does well to posture out, and he's looking to mix up his strikes. Louca was a bit desperate with that takedown attempt. I think that's going to give Nikolasz Louca a lot of confidence here in the striking exchange.
Yeah, we've seen Antonio Louca be quite happy on his feet before, but yeah, like you said, Steve, he seemed to be chasing and almost trying to force the takedown as opposed to setting it up.
Yes, use the gifts, use your hands and feet. Try to work it out.
Oh, lovely boxing from Nikolasz.
Oh, good sweep there, and now Luca's on top in mount. He's got to settle here. He's got grapevines in.
Oh, look at that, listening to Jordan. His corner, the professional fighter Jordan Vucenic said, talk about this parachuting position where you have your legs up wide so you can't just get bridged off. And that's what Antonio Louca did straight away, and then crossing his feet underneath, make it hard for Nikolasz Louca to bridge out. Absolutely fantastic. Big improvements from Antonio Louca, fight on fight. Good. Oh, but nice position. Recovery from Nikolasz.
Oh, there you go, double ankle sweep, and they both break up. Again, Nikolasz Louca's very, very happy to keep it standing. Right in the pocket now.
Yeah,
I think Nikolasz has got to get a little bit more busy.
Nikolasz he does need to be a bit busier, but does seem to be winning the striking exchanges. Just slightly crisper boxing is making the difference. Although yet a couple there though.
There you go. He's steaming forward is long body Louca.
Oh, another one.
It's just me, but Louca looks a bit bigger in here.
I'd say just a touch, yeah. Oh, Nikolasz, just such crisp boxing. Doesn't throw a huge amount of kicks, but it's kind of his hooks and uppercuts. Very clean.
Somebody's got to put a statement at the end of this round. Whose fight is it so far?
Yeah, I'm glad I'm not scoring this one, Steve.
There you go, good double leg.
This could be the
Nikolasz
statement you're talking about.
Can he suck it up and pull him in? Can't finish the takedown.
Gets behind him.
God, long body Louca doing so well. Oh.
It could be a round
Big energy
apiece.
move. Could
very
be,
hard to
could
say.
be. So close. So close at the moment.
Steve, we're on our main card here at Battle Arena Birmingham. There's an absolutely packed house. Every VIP table is full. There's a huge crowd around. Everyone is buzzed for this. Our first fight on our main card for the vacant Battle Arena 61 kilogram European title between two Battle Arena legends, some of our most active fighters, Nikolasz Lukacs and Antonio Louca. And that has been 2 rounds of exciting action. But who's going to take the third?
I don't know.
Who knew?
I don't know. I want to see it finish. I want to see somebody finish somebody. And I think if anybody can do it, it should be long body Louca.
I think, Steve, I might be corrected, but our European title fights are 3 rounds, and it's only our world title fights that are 5.
Only world title, yep.
Yeah.
So this is the final round.
It's
Final round.
quite possibly a round apiece. Who wants it more?
You got to go into the. Either fighter's got to go into this thinking, you know, I've got to win this round. I've got to win it decisively.
I haven't seen Nikolasz Lukacs lose before, but he's definitely. This is not an easy fight for him.
That's a counter right. Louca just looks to smother him against his own corner. Very good cage craft and ring craft from Antonio Louca, and that might just be the difference here. You got that 5-3 record, 8 amateur fights. Somebody with just 3, sometimes it's just the experience difference. Just where you can take it, where you can control the fight.
Yep. Looking for that double.
Oh, but a guillotine. Quite tight. No, he lets it go.
That was actually looking quite tight, Steve, like you said, but yeah, just didn't have the body positioning to go with it. Nikolasz Lukacs trying to work off his back once again in the corner of Antonio Louca.
Good control. Louca's doing well to follow the hips, smash the head up against those defense.
Thing is, if he can stay here and stay busy, this could win in the round, and then winning that European title. So the real onus on trying to make a bit of action here is actually on Nikolasz Lukacs. Maybe feet to the hips, kick away, make some space. He's trying to do that, but it's just so difficult pressed up against the cage.
Yeah, there's not a lot that can be done here from Nikolasz Lukacs. He's really got to angle out and use his feet to kind of push off the cage and continue his rotation. And Antonio Louca's doing well to stay busy here. It's a little bit of a reminder there from Alan Jackson, but I don't think it's going to do very much. As the seconds tick down in this third round, it's Antonio Louca on top, making all the decisions. Interestingly, that wall walking is not really much of a thing anymore.
Yeah, it's kind of disappeared, Steve. Although they're right there.
That was
because you said
something
it.
else.
It was bridging off the cage.
There we go. Another big takedown here. Will probably cinch it up for Louca.
Oh no! Oh yes! Rolled out.
Oh. Drops his
Shield's
mouth guard.
gone.
Shot to the body. Can he spin? Can he take the back now? Very little time left
It's
here.
gonna be so close, this fight.
Needs to stand up. He can't accept the bottom here. Oh, we're going last 10 seconds. He's looking to cinch up a guillotine attempt, maybe even just to keep the judges thinking.
Wow, what a fight, Steve. What a fight for our European title.
Wow. Wow. I do not want to be a judge.
Yeah, Antonio Louca's corner seems to think they've done enough, but hard to tell.
We gotta go to the judges' scorecards and see how they've seen it. They're separate angles here. Who's gonna be the European bantamweight title holder? It's only moments away, and I'm gonna have them live cage side in a moment. So find out how they think it went and find out what's next.
After 3 rounds of action, we go to the judges' scorecard. It is a unanimous decision for your winner and new Battle Arena European champion in blue corner, Antonio Louca!
All right, I'm here with your winner and new champion, Antonio Louca, European champion. Antonio, how do you think it went? What was the major difference there between you and Nikolasz Lukacs?
I knew he was a really good wrestler. He had very strong hands. But I felt I was an even stronger wrestler, so the game plan was just drill, drill, drill. I guess they definitely had Jordan Finucci, I believe I pronounced his second name right, Jordan in my corner, and I could hear him the whole time, and it helped so much, especially in the grappling exchanges where I felt maybe I was a bit exposed. His words of wisdom definitely came through, and obviously my other 2 main coaches as well, Sam and Paul, they've helped big time.
Definitely, you've had 9 fights now inside. You've got a great 6-3 record. Maybe it was just the experience different. You seem to control it so well. What's next? We really want to know.
Next, I had 5 fights last year. This year, I don't know. I gotta see what's cool. Also, just the biggest fights possible. People pull out my last fight, but this time I'm ready for anyone.
He's ready for anyone. Let's see what the fans have to say. What do you guys got to say? They want him back, and we do. Antonio Louca. There's only one, and he's the champ. We're going back to the action. Let's go.